So,
hi, folks. It's me, Old Man Grognard, Glenn, of course, and Mr. Tom is here.
Yep.
And buy my book. Okay, got that out of the way. So, they're not going to remember me for the book. They're going to remember me for buy my book.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the chat from being over your
my
face.
head.
Yeah.
Over my face. We're here today without our the bald guy, Don.
Yeah, well, Don is
Poobah, our grand Poobah.
Don is not well, and so we figured we would just go on a gas bag for lunch. I do have some news for something coming up.
Between me and Don, it's kind of dicey for these things anyway because of our health. But I'm hoping Don says he drove all night to go do something in the medical. He came from, according to him, came from Battle Creek, Michigan to Cleveland because there was the hospital that they needed to get the info from was there. So yeah, I can understand him. He's probably dead to the world right now.
Yeah.
But
well, Don always gets these comments over.
I know.
And I can't seem to.
It says tabletop tap room test.
Yeah, I just put a comment in there and. I'm boggled. It doesn't seem like there's anybody here yet, anyways. But
okay.
Oh well.
Well, in the meantime, we are here. How are you? How are you doing, Tom?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I've actually been up in the attic, pulling miniatures out, organizing them into the proper collections. Because when I would go someplace like Historicon, and I decided I was going to do a new wargaming project.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy everything just for that.
Oh my gosh.
Like, for example, I decided one year at Historicon that I bought Tooth and Claw, which was Victorian prehistoric war game hunting. And so then I bought like 2 adult mammoths, 2 baby mammoths, 24 cavemen, because, you got to have cavemen, and, just a slew of prehistoric animals. And so I actually pulled all these together. Plus I got dinosaurs. So I've got a couple of T-Rexes, some Triceratops, really big ones I've got to get bases for.
This is why I'm not a war gamer. One of the reasons anyway.
So, these things were in separate boxes. I pulled them all together. They're all out on the kitchen table. I'm doing all the bases, getting them all primed, and then going to put them together into one collection, into one case, so that it's not like somewhere I have, whatever.
Yeah.
And my King Philip's War collection is all going into one case. I've got a few more things on the priming bench. But that'll be a nice little skirmish war game collection, and it's nice to feel like I accomplished something. So
you got your own setup at home and all that.
Yeah, well, I just have a spot in the basement where I hold my breath and then I spray with the spray can. I don't have an actual paint booth for priming.
No, I mean you got a whole setup with the table and all that.
Well, I'm using the kitchen table right now. I will have to.
I'll bet the wife likes that.
I will have to pick it up tonight. Yeah, actually, our youngest daughter is coming home tonight. She's been working all summer, and so she already put us on notice that she wanted these chicken avocado burgers that Tammy makes. Ooh. And so I have to clean the kitchen.
I hear you, man.
For sure.
Well, I've got the youngins are gone. We had a week for the youngest grandsons, and boy, they and I ran 3 short D&D sessions for the oldest ones. Always like, Grandpa,
Nice.
could we play D&D? Grandpa, could we play D&D? And now I started something. I left him on a cliffhanger. I said, the rest of it's going to happen when you come here next. Whatever that was going to be. And I hope it's not for a while. Yeah, all he wanted, I ran so many 2 or 3 scenarios of the Isle of Dread. And that's the only place you wanted to go. He says, let's go back to the Isle of Dread. I says, well, there's other place to be Isle of Dread, because he found out like they found a black pearl, and oh my God, there's dinosaurs there. He got to kill a saber-toothed tiger.
Nice.
And, he was over the moon. And
I have all the miniatures for Isle of Dread, by the way.
Do you?
Dinosaurs, but cavemen.
Oh yeah, right. I got these things. I have tokens of like NPCs or player characters and all the monsters. But then I went out and I went to Amazon and I got like not tiddlywinks, but these colored, all colored plastic chips, and I can mark on them. So it's like when I do like say a half a dozen lizard men, which they fought a lot of. Right. Said, okay, here's the chief, and then I put the like green ones down there and number 1, 2, 3. Go. Okay, these are the rest of them. Yeah. So I'm trying to cut down the fact that I can take less of these and more of the other ones, which are easier to deal with because they're smaller.
Right.
And so they left, and in the meantime, Gage, my oldest grandson, is here because he's working a job out in the oil field near our house. Mm-hmm. He was my first D&D converted, and he still plays. We've got the Monday game, and he still plays in that. So yeah, he's sleeping right now. He works overnight, so that's been my thrilling life for the last week or so. How about you? Yeah. Besides your miniatures, I mean.
Yeah, well, it's miniatures, basing, priming, painting. But actually, I started a conversation with Steve Winter.
Oh, really?
And of TSR, WotC fame. And because, conversation started on Facebook where somebody had posted a bunch of stuff that they had, the collection of Alternity modules. And I commented on the Click Clack module for our Alternity because the clicks had actually appeared in Star Frontiers.
Really?
And so spelled differently. And so I just commented on it that, yeah, that was a really interesting module, that it was, in my opinion, it was the Colonial Marines from Aliens. Remember the Alien movie? Aliens movie?
Oh, yes.
With the Colonial Marines meet like a dungeon crawl meets Star Frontiers. But it's a dungeon crawl. It's an actual dungeon crawl in space, like a mega dungeon in space.
Kind of like, not Gamma World, but the one before it. Kind of like that.
Metamorphosis, yeah.
Like Metamorphosis Alpha.
So, I asked him, and he was like, "Nah, I don't remember that." He did not write the module that the clicks appeared in. And so we had an interesting conversation, and then he offered to come on the show next Tuesday at 8:00. For a live stream and discuss.
You mean Thursday?
No. Next Tuesday. The
Oh, okay. Well, is this different from this?
Yeah, it'll be at 8:00.
Okay. I thought you meant the vlog. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Hey, we've got people up there. It may come on my face, but I don't care. Hi, Matthew. Thank you for your contribution, by the way. My GoFundMe is still going, and this man has been very generous. Thank you very much.
We did not have a lot of time to set this up. I found out that Tom wasn't feeling well. He got in late this morning.
And if it were for Mr. Tom here, it wouldn't happen. So
yeah, this was like a last-minute pitch hit.
I don't do restream. When I do one myself, I just go on YouTube. So, yeah, thank you again.
But so anyway, because my interview with Steve's going to kind of border a little more Star Frontiers-ish, I just thought I'd make it I just do it on my own channel.
Right.
Let me do a share screen. I'll show the tile.
Okay. Whoops, how'd that happen?
That I put together.
Chrome popped up. Travel again.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
The winner, Secret Alien Origins inside TSR. So that will be next Tuesday at 8:00 at night.
Steve, you got older.
And
I'm sorry. Anyway,
now I gotta.
That's great. When is that? 8:00 Tuesday night, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where? Oh, on YouTube, of course. Yeah.
Now, if I could just get us back on screen here.
Yeah. We covered it, Matthew, by Glenn's book. Oh, I hope I'm seeing you. I don't remember, but I hope I see you in October at WizardCon. Or yeah. Oh man, chemo brain, I swear. Anyway, so that looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting show, and I would be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to go longer than an hour, maybe even less, because I've actually doing my research, making sure that you don't want to do an interview with somebody and go, so you worked with Gary Gygax, how cool was that? I've seen interviews that went that way, and I was like, "Oh, dude, man."
This is why I stay mostly quiet when we have a guest on the vlogomany things. It's like, could I come up with an intelligent question? The whole hour I'm just going, come on, something.
Well, a couple decades ago, I interviewed Zeb Cook by email.
Okay.
For the fan magazine. And so I did a lot of research. I really thought things out. And my last question that I asked him was an absolute bonehead question. And he was very nice and polite. And he goes, "Oh, we'll see." No.
That's the best you can get out. Okay.
But it was, and then afterwards I was like, why did you ask that? That was stupid.
I know. Hey, Matt, good. You're going to be at WizardCon? You got a seat at whatever I run.
And by Glenn's book.
Yeah, which is probably gangbusters.
And I'll be at WizardCon. Well, actually, whoops. I was trying to take that off. There we go. I actually just got a text from somebody today that asking if Tammy and I were going to be at ShireCon, which is in Connecticut, in the Berkshires, hence the name ShireCon. And we haven't been able to go for like 2 years, I think. So it's been kind of rough. And Tammy just said, yes, we're going to ShireCon. I'm not 100% sure we still have the financing for all the way to Michigan for WizardCon. But I got to go in and see if I can still register a game to run a game at ShireCon if we're going.
A little too late for that, or
I don't know if it's too late for that. If I can still do a game, because the guy who asked me, I know will play in my game because it's I'm going to run Star Frontiers, and I know Jason will want to jump in on that game no matter what. So
right.
Plus, there's going to be some artwork featured in that game that his daughter did. So
right.
Yeah, of course he's going to show up.
Good. Yeah. Oh, Thursday, I'm hoping to get Jeff back as a guest because last week we couldn't do it because of medical reasons. So I will try and get him on. I don't know if we have any. I don't know if Don's lined in anybody this Thursday, but I will. Jeff from the Bad News Bards.
Oh, Matthew's going to be at ShireCon. Awesome.
So they.
I love ShireCon.
They're trying to pull off a con in Tennessee, and great time to have them on. I'm always willing to promote a con, whether I can go to it or not. I don't care. Like I said, I don't know what Don's got cooked up, so I'll talk to him, see if we can get him back here.
Yeah, I also noticed, like I came across a con that I'd never seen before
Uh-huh.
because I follow Chet Minton artist. Do you know
Uh-huh.
him?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, great artist. So I follow him, and I saw that he was at this con as like a vendor or special guest or something.
Uh-huh.
So I went and checked it out. I'm like, oh, this con looks interesting, and probably is at the very limit of what we could drive going south. And so, like, I jumped on IM and sent a message to them, and they hadn't updated their Facebook page, and I didn't realize. I didn't catch the date. They hadn't
Uh-huh.
updated the Facebook page in 3 years. So the information on that con was like 3 years old, and I was like, oh, never mind, forget that. But yeah, so I mean, even if you ran a con, I imagine, like if you ran a con and you were like taking a hiatus, you should probably just put something on the Facebook page you created. Just say, hey, we're on hiatus. Maybe be back in, on hiatus for a year. And
Yeah.
then if it goes longer and people see that it's gone longer, they'll just be like, all right, yeah, they're done.
Yeah. I'm thinking that, I always refer to con season, which to me has always been like spring, summer, maybe, fall, and Gen Con is like the end of it. But I know there's cons that go on during the winter and stuff. But it seems to me these days like there's more people who want to put on cons, so the season is extending
Right.
into like the holidays and things like that. I always thought the holidays was the worst time to game, even though you can do a nice Halloween game. But our groups have always been too much stuff going on during the holidays. We'll resume in January type of thing. And that's the way it happens, It's crazy. But I'm happy to see more cons being brought out.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that more.
We certainly need more cons here in Maine, but I'm not prepared to run one. What I was thinking of doing is we have this thing called Huzzah, which is a wargaming con.
Okay.
A historical wargaming con. And I just thought, well, what if I went and ran a couple of Star Frontiers Nighthawks war games? What con is going to say, no, we don't want you to come and run games at our con, right? And then I'll Bojack in the third session, which would be RPG.
That's the way to do it. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I went on the Facebook page and I said, hey, would there be any interest in Star Frontiers Nighthawks war game? And like right away, somebody went, no, I'm only interested in historical.
Yep.
So like, geez, throw some cold water, dude. Thank you.
Yeah. I remember when Doug and Bad Mike were running North Texas, Doug was very strict on the fact that in the program there was only role-playing games. That doesn't mean you couldn't play something else there, but he wouldn't promote it in the program. And I remember Full On Gamer, who came a couple of times from off of Thicko's Hammer, and he's big in oh, please help me with I've got chemo brain today. What's the one with the giant robots?
Mech Warrior.
Yeah. No, yeah. But he was big on that, and he would just go and like sneak it in. It's like he just take a big old thing. You know how the hotels got those big old work tables they got the plugs and all this. He just command one of those and start setting up all this terrain. And they go, what are you doing? Oh, we're gonna play this. Okay, well, and he was like, and that was it was funny. It's the time that Full On Gamer was he was in the service. He was in the Army.
Right.
And he would come down in his off time, and he said, okay. I talked to him and said, okay, we'll be fine as long as I get out here at midnight, because I got to go back to Lawton and report back to the base. And it's like, I'm going to bed at like 2, 3. He's still there running it with people. And it's like, you're going to get in trouble. He said, no, it's all right. All right. Your turn. Yes.
A wall for playing Mech Warrior.
Yes.
My dad was a sergeant in the Air Force, and he had this one airman. Guy would show up early, and if there was nothing to do, he'd just start cleaning. And I had overheard my father say that if he had to keep a group of planes flying at a forward position, he would take that one airman, and he and that one airman would get the job done.
Right.
And so he really liked this guy. And but there was a day where he did not show up for work, and everybody's like, doing the whole, and they're my dad's not saying nothing. He's just doing his thing. And so at lunchtime, he went over to the barracks, got into the room, kicked the cot. Clearly, Bill had been out partying. Yeah. And he's like, if anybody asks, you asked me for the day off. And then Dad just went back to work like he'd gone out to get lunch. And so when, people had no idea that Bill had screwed up, because Dad had been kind of particular with people who weren't doing their job, who were screwing up, and it called them on the carpet. So, but he wasn't going to call Bill on the carpet because the guy was nice. Too good.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine that. AWOL for playing Mech Warrior at a con.
Yeah, he said, I just got to get there and report in. It sounded like he was going to go there, report in, and then come right back to the con.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man, it was. I wish he would come back. I mean, he lives in I forget, somewhere out there in the mini, somewhere out there in the east, but he's a long haul trucker, so now he has an excuse to go to a con. His thing is going to Gen Con every year, and when he can't go like this year, he's pissed.
Yeah,
he's pissed because they can't. Gen Con can't get his act together. I can't get either he's lost the room or lost the kid. And he's one of those people who starts a year before. And he even then, it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of other places, my grandson Gage is in the Monday game. And it's like, oh, you're going to be working out in the field. You can't play. He works overnight. He says, no, I take my laptop and I play out there in the oil fields. So I said, well, wow. Okay, as long as you're doing your job, I guess,
Yeah.
Because I thought half the time, I thought he was at where he's living, and it's like, no, I'm out there working with my father-in-law and everybody else. So okay, whatever. I mean, what was that?
That's my camera, my phone. I have two games going with AI with Google Notebook LM. And so the unique thing is most of the AIs out there just make stuff up.
Right.
They don't run a game. They just do fan fiction. They try to please you, whatever they expect the most natural thing to be. But you can lock down Google Notebook and get it to run the game because you load in all the sources into the notebook. So I put the rule book in there. I tell them, you are going to run this. You must roll the dice and be transparent about your rolls and about applying. And so I've got two games. I got a Star Frontiers game going that we had a TPK, my first TPK, because there's just my character and an NPC companion. And so it rolled on a printed module, came up with 10 opponents. We were swarmed. It was all done. It was ugly, but
death is around you. Yes.
Yeah. But I was just at my stepson's wedding for the wedding rehearsal and all that. And so I was playing Keep on the Borderlands
while you were doing
the rehearsal and all that. It was great. It was great. Then I made the mistake of doing overland travel. And that's become a slog because the AI doesn't know how to speed things up. So it's like, all right, so we just do one day at a time. It does I'm like, okay, I got to get out of this little segment and we ain't doing overland travel.
If it's going to be that way, you can't teach him to do give him a random encounter table and
Well,
having one.
it's doing that. It's legitimately doing that, and it made up a distance for me to travel to escort this merchant.
Wow.
But it's not fun. So I'm like, all right, I've learned from this now. We're going to limit overland travel unless we're doing something like Isle of Dread, like you just mentioned.
Right.
And because I picked up a ShireCon a module one year, and it was all these islands, and you could use the map they had, or you could intersperse these islands. And I thought this was great support material for running Isle of Dread. I haven't had the chance to run Isle of Dread since picking that up, but it was a great little module that the Throwy Games, the guy who puts on ShireCon, published. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Great supplemental material for a Isle of Dread for sure.
So you're working on getting to ShireCon. And Matthew here says he wants to be at your table. Is that possible?
Well, yeah. Well, well, here's the problem. We had a foster kiddo, and against, what the state wanted and against what the lawyer for the kid wanted, the judge, gave her back to the biological. So for the 2 years that we had her, it was very difficult for us to travel out of state. It was like so we just didn't go for 2 years to ShireCon because the kiddo was more important. Keeping her safe was more important. And so, all right, the hobby's got to go. Well, now that she's suddenly gone back and we're still dealing with some of the after effects of that.
How old is she?
She's 4 now. We had her for 2 years. We had her from July 3rd through of her second, right after her turning 2, through a week before her 4th birthday.
Okay, she's a little young then, because I was going to say if she's any older, like 6 or 8, dude, get her into D&D.
Yeah, so it was hard. So I hadn't even been thinking that we could go to ShireCon, and Jason Messier just contacted me today and said, hey, are you going to be at ShireCon? And I'm like, so I went and asked the boss, and she said, yes, we're going. I says, are you sure? She says, yes. I said, all right, we better buy our tickets soon.
Yeah.
Before the thing sold out.
I'm still working on the GoFundMe to raise the funds for WizardCon, and anything I don't spend at WizardCon will go towards the next con I go to.
Right.
Probably North Texas.
Right.
So there's that. One of my the second youngest grandson, who I've been running the D&D here. It's like he finally at the last day I told him what a con was, and it's like I don't know if I can take you, because not only do I have to ask your parents and fight those, you are a stepchild. And we have to ask your father too.
Oh, geez, yeah.
And all that mess.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all stepkids to me, but I am grandpa. I'm the official grandpa.
Right.
For them. But Gage was like, all I had to do was deal with his mother and Becky, and his father, Derek, my stepson, is like, well, he was having his own problems. He was in rehab and all that. He didn't care. He was having his own problems. He didn't live with them anyway. They lived with the mom. And so that was easy. And it's like, oh man, if he ever wants to go to the con, I'm going to be in trouble. He's going to be so bored.
You get a parent who's just going to say no just to be.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard the stupidest reasons.
Yeah.
His mother said at first she didn't want him to go. Becky didn't want her to go because she's like from the Midwest. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the panic dies hard in some people. But she got over it.
Gotten the notice.
Yeah, she kind of got over it. But his mother was saying, I don't want him to go to the con. Why? Because she didn't want him to play either. But he didn't care. And she says, I don't want him to be made fun of at school as being a nerd. I was like, really? That's your reason? And then finally one year, I just bought 2 tickets, bought 2 badges, and I said to his mom, "Hey, my friend was supposed to go, but he can't now. Can Gage take the badge?" Sure.
Yeah.
These people, I swear to God, out here, these Midwest people are weird.
Yeah, it's you know,
Yeah.
I moved up here to Maine after my divorce, and somebody was asking me, "Oh, so what do you do?" I said, "Well, I happen to do this fan magazine." And they're like, "What's that?" I said, "Well, it's like a role-playing game, but science fiction based. It's really focused on Star Frontiers." And they went, "Oh, that's of the devil."
Yeah. And then
And I'm like, it's science fiction. There are no devils in it.
Well, a lot of people are okay if long you don't run fantasy.
Yeah,
They're
somehow
okay,
fantasy is bad.
Yeah, they're okay with like Gamma World or superheroes or sci-fi, or especially if you're running something like Star Wars. Oh yeah, Star Wars. Yeah. They have no problem with that. Hell, I've been running at North Texas. I've been running Ghostbusters, and they don't have a problem with that. Those are ghosts.
Gozer the Gozerian would be a demon in my book.
That's right. And
So,
yeah, we do. I promised Becky that okay, we're going to play, but I'll leave the demon stuff out of it. I'm not going to play. I mean, there's tons of monsters and stuff that you can use in D&D. You don't need them.
Yeah.
And
D&D was heavily inspired by Tolkien, and
a little bit, yeah.
Tolkien is high fantasy, battle between good and evil.
That's
and
right.
J.R.R. Tolkien was Roman Catholic, and his Catholic theology is deeply rooted in the Lord of the Rings. And
that's funny. That's funny. The guy who wrote Narnia was also Catholic.
Yeah, he was friends with Tolkien.
They were friends. It's like he loved Lord of the Rings and that stuff, but Tolkien didn't care for his stuff.
He didn't like allegory. Actually, rumor has it that C.S. Lewis, the way he would lecture, he had a booming voice, and so when you hear Treebeard, yeah, deep and that's based off of C.S. Lewis, because they were like down the halls from each other, and so that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I just think that's cool, because I love Narnia. I love Lord of the Rings. I love, hard sci-fi.
It's all good. Did I ever read a fantasy book? See, I was a big reader growing up, but I was more like, because I like movies and stuff like that. I was more nonfiction. So I'd read about stuff.
Right.
And things like that. And I have read some fiction, but mostly I go for, let's see, like Sherlock Holmes. I love Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Not exactly able to adapt to it, but I also like Raymond Chandler. Raymond Chandler has been a big influence on this, because I just love that, smart ass detective type stuff. And because I'm a smart ass. And but yeah, that's pretty much my and I'm the movies, of course. I'm totally cinematic in my playing. We were talking about that. Gage and I were talking about that, because Gage runs every once in a while. He runs for other people, but he says, yeah, he runs 5e. He says, I run and I don't even use the screen. I roll in front of them and let the dice do what they're going to do. And I never kill them. They kill themselves. I said, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And I said, I've got to be more, mine has to be a little more cinematic, because, frankly, I've never seen him run a game, but he says he does. So I'm going to take his word for it. And he sounds like I could probably deal with it, playing in his game. But there are some DMs that I just go, I will never, ever play a game with you. And for other, you've had bad GMs, right?
Oh, geez. Yeah.
I think we all have horror stories about bad GMs.
I'm trying to show comment here. Hold on.
I had what?
Comment won't show up.
Well,
there we go. Sorry.
Okay. I used to game when I lived in Silicon Valley. I used to game with this one guy who technically he ran a champions game. Well, it was a champions game, but nothing ever happened. Nothing. Wow. And when things did happen, and he was so convoluted about the plot, and it's like, then he starts getting mad at us. He's, what are you, too stupid to follow this? And I said, I guess I am.
Check, please.
Yeah. That's when I'm out. You know.
Matt says Saracon works out well for me. I grew up and have family an hour away in New York. Oh, yeah. So you don't even have to get a hotel room. You just jump in the car and drive an hour. You know, we make it a longer weekend trip. Yeah, Tammy and I drive down from Maine, and I've actually thought that, you know, for ShireCon, it might be nice to just like rent one of those short camper RVs and you know, drive down and just stay in the camper.
And that'd be cool.
You know, with a parking lot on a, you know, summer night. You know, it's only like 1 or 2 nights, so you know, something different maybe to do it that way.
Come into my camper. I want to play D&D.
Well, no, I mean, you know, that sounds creepy.
Well, actually, it sounds kind of fun. You roll up to a KOA or something like that. You're going to stay the night.
Or well, you know, if the convention's closed and we're drinking,
exactly. Exactly. Nothing creepy over here. We just got dice.
We're just getting drunk.
Yeah, dice and booze. Yeah, there we go. Dice and booze, and more dice and booze. There we go. Oh, I played drunk before. I think the second or third North Texas, I was playing in Mike's B1, and by the end of it, I was totally drunk. But what's the weirdest thing is, at the beginning of the game, I couldn't hit a thing. The drunk you were, the more I got drunk, all of a sudden 18s, 19s, 20s, all of a sudden, do I do this all the time just to get through the game?
Savage Tales. Oh
wow.
Solomon Kane is good. I like Solomon Kane.
See, I read a little Conan too, but mostly I got like 3 volumes of the old DC Comics, AD&D comics. Plus, I have first volume of the Marvel Conan. But I also have the Saga of Solomon Kane, which is all the Solomon Kane secondary stories that were in the Conan comic in the back, and they put them all into one book.
Nice.
And that is nice. Yeah.
See, there was this RPG that came out in the early mid 2000s called Witch Hunter, The Unseen World. And so like I was part of a wargaming club, and you know, we would get together socially at somebody's house for Christmas or whatever. And they wanted to start doing some RPGs. And so somebody bought the rules, and we're all sitting there, and they're like, well, who's going to run it? And I was like, all right, I'll run it. It was a miserable rule set because, you know, people say it's the setting. The rules don't matter. You know what? These rules were terrible. First edition rules. I know it had a second edition, but you would spend so much time because they didn't even give you a dedicated bestiary. And so you'd spend so much time working up some kind of angel or demon or something for, and it was just such a headache. And after like 3 sessions, everybody's having a great time. I'm miserable, and I'm like, stick a fork in me. I'm done. And I can't run this game.
What is that game company that turned out? What was it again? Witch Hunter? No, that's not what I'm thinking of. But TSR bought them. SI?
Yeah. Was it PSI or it was an acronym, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I was just
science.
I'd have to pull Wikipedia up here.
But you know pretty much who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They put out a fantasy and a sci-fi game.
Well, everybody did.
Yeah, that's the thing. But they put out, I had the sci-fi game, and any game where it takes 45 minutes to write up a character, I don't want anything to do with. And it was just, everything was so wrong.
Yeah.
It was like a labyrinth, trying to go through a labyrinth. It was terrible. I said, I'd rather kill my character in Creation and Traveler than play in this.
I feel like you haven't actually lived until you've had a character die in Character Creation.
Yeah, a long time ago when I actually played a couple times. Actually, I remember one there was a Traveler campaign. I actually enjoyed it one time because they actually did something. I used to hate. I still don't care for it, but just hate Traveler because I was part of this in San Jose. I was part of this game group, gameplays, and the guys who played Traveler, all they wanted to do was make spaceships and brag about them and argue about them. It's like, don't you guys ever play the game?
Yeah. When I had a plumbing business, I'd go into the plumbing supply warehouse, and the kid working the desk was constantly, and I knew what he was doing. He was drawing on graph paper a Traveler ship, the triangular shaped one that kind of looks like a Star Destroyer.
Right.
And over again, every day we go in, and I was like, and so I just kind of got the idea that like everybody was looking at him like he was a weirdo. So I never let on I was a war gamer or RPG player.
Why ruin yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, I work in construction sites with these guys, so keep it on down low.
I can hear that. Anyway, that guy, what was I? Oh, a friend of mine. Nothing happened at that Champions game, and like it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And there's this one gal who she was one of those people who played role-playing games only because her friends were doing it. Wanted to be social. Yeah. And she was one of those people who drive you crazy during the game, who just wanted to chat, with the other players and stuff. Hey, I'm trying to run a game here. And I came up with this character sheet, this Champions character sheet, that instructions on everything, and it's a really nice sheet. I loved it. And I said, I made this for her. You know why I made it for her? Because every time she wants to make a character or fight a battle in Champions, what die do I use? Yeah. What dies do I use? And how much it was, you had to baby feed her everything, and it just drove me the frick. And I was just a player. I wasn't the GM. It drove me freaking crazy. It's like, don't you pay attention to anything? Do you remember last time? Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah. So anyhow, back to Solomon Kane.
I'm sorry.
Witch Hunter. I rabbit trailed on Witch Hunter, but Witch Hunter is why I found Solomon Kane. I hated the game Witch Hunter, but I really liked the genre. I played around with maybe kit bashing my own rules, but
how long ago was this? When was this put out?
I want to say like 2006 or 7.
Okay.
First edition. And I remember seeing a second edition.
Well, Savage Worlds had a Solomon Kane book. That's why I asked. I thought it was the same thing, but obviously not.
Savage Worlds is my favorite RPG that I've never even looked at the rule book. And I'll tell you what is because I play Star Grunt by Ground Zero Games. And I love that rule set. I think it's super elegant, and it does that die shift where, all right, so this squad is normally rolling with a D6, but they have this advantage, so now they're rolling with a D8. And you could have a raw, conscript group taking a shot at a main battle tank. So the main battle tank's rolling with the biggest die possible. They're rolling with a D4. Highest number wins, and that means that conscript group could get a lucky shot, a golden BB, and take out that main battle tank.
Sure, why not?
And I like that. And then somebody was telling me, oh, yeah, that's Savage Worlds does that with the die shift, going up and going down. Yeah. Yep. And I just thought, oh, it's such an elegant system. But I've never actually played in.
I've run some, mostly pulp.
Okay.
Because I like pulp and everybody seemed to like it. And I've got a few more of their books. You know, that's the whole where what's that game, Western game called that they do? Deathland. Deathland? What, yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
They came out with apparently that's their world for Deadlands, because it's like, what if the Civil War never happened and they split, and the Indians got a big sheep of plan, all that stuff, and you know, you got the horror stuff going on and all that kind of stuff. And but they also, one of my favorites they also put out is Deadlands Noir, which advanced the world to like the 1930s and 40s.
Oh, interesting.
So you still have the magic stuff in the Indians and all the southern, you know, northern, southern USA. But you've got all this like film noir stuff and detective stuff you can play with.
And I imagine Salt Lake City is still a Mormon country all by itself.
Yeah. And stuff like I think California is almost like an island, a nation to itself, and you know, that kind of thing.
Bear Flag Republic, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I remember there was a big old, in the middle, there was a big old Indian nation with all the tribes and everything too.
Sure.
And it's like, I don't know if I like that, but it's very intriguing. Maybe I can use this for something else.
I do like alternate history. Big Harry Turtledove fan. I like the alternate history kind of things.
One of my favorite detective series is Lord Darcy. You ever read Lord Darcy?
No.
It's what if the things didn't happen in England, like the king, you know, the Norman never happened and stuff. It took place in the 70s, and it looked like Victorian. They're still Victorian, but they had science, but science was very minor to magic. It's like, you know, they have the beautiful suits and also they'd have a digital watch, you know, little things like that.
Right.
And like the church sanctioned wizards. And so Darcy had his Dr. Watson was a wizard.
Okay.
And it all revolved around that. And it took D&D and Sherlock Holmes and put them together, which is really cool.
Which you wouldn't think would be a good mashup, but probably was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they did stuff like some guy was in a sword fight with another guy, and the one guy, his enemy, had an invisible spell on the sword, on the blade. And the thing is, the way their invisible works is, it's not that it's invisible. You just got a blank, you know, you got a blank spot. You can't see it, you know. And so how do you do that? How do you fight that? Simple. This other guy's got a talent. He can see in the future a few seconds, like 30 seconds. So he can see where the blade's going to be. And he's doing it like this. And spoiler here for the book, the novel. I did a lot of short stories. The novel, it was basically a closed library death, you know, book. How did they get into it? Well, this one guy, the guy who could see in future, he looked through the keyhole, and it's like, hey, I'm going to put a note under there. The guy's going to bend over, and he's going to be there then. Boom, like that. And it's like, wow, it was just a fun series.
Nice.
Yeah, I could adapt some of that to D&D very easily. Yeah. Very easily. You are pixelating, my friend.
I am?
Yeah. On my end, you just got and a little out of focus.
My internet had gone unstable.
Oh, darn.
Oh, well, we're getting close. So, yeah.
I can still hear you.
Well, we're close. So, you know, probably best to wrap it up.
Put another nickel in your internet. Remember back in old England, where they had, if you wanted heat, you had a box Okay, put a tuppence in there, that kind of thing. They should do that with internet.
Yeah. Or the the dive motel, you put the quarter in to get the bed to vibrate.
Yeah.
And we're not done. Put another quarter.
Yeah. Let me turn over. Now we're getting dirty.
Yeah. So ShireCon looks like it's going to be a thing. I have not even bought a ticket yet. It's just the decision was made. So hopefully there's still tickets available. I will try to set up a game, but I bet if nothing else, like we show up Friday night, if there's an open table, I could probably just throw stuff down and play.
That's the way you do it.
So even if we can't register a game this late in the game, I don't know. But yeah, it looks like that's definitely the plan. I'll be bringing some Star Frontier swag for people at the table.
Oh, you got Star Frontier swag. How nice.
Yeah, I have some swag I can give out, actually.
Yeah. Swag me away. Yeah. Star Frontiers. I don't know why I know why I never got into Star Frontiers, because Traveler burned me out so much. I didn't want anything to do with sci-fi.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're close to an hour, so
okay, no problem.
Let's wrap it up. Glenn, thanks for coming on. It was a good pitch hit. I know that Don wasn't feeling well, wore out and tired.
Yeah, poor guy. He had driving all night and terrible.
Yeah. So I will see you.
All right. Don't forget to buy my book and go to my GoFundMe. If you can help me out, I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye, folks.
All right.